Now, the ACT is only one part of an overall admissions process. And while your test score is obviously important, there are other factors that go into your application. So I'm going to talk about some of these components right now. You might have other standardized tests. 2, GPA and coursework. 3, extracurriculars. 4, personal statements. 5, recommendations. And 6, the application itself. So let's talk about each of these one at a time. The first thing you need to know is that you may have to take other standardized tests as part of your application. Now you may be saying, what? Other tests? I thought I was done after this. Now don't get too stressed out already, because some universities may not require you to take these other standardized tests. However, if you're applying to one of the more elite private universities or large state universities, a lot of them require that you take 2 to 3 of these subject exams. These tests are an hour long each, and they test you on basic subjects like US history or chemistry or Spanish with listening. Now, one piece of advice: if you're a junior and you're taking an AP test, you should sign up for a May or June SAT subject test so that you don't have to study twice for, say, Spanish, but you can just knock 2 birds with 1 stone, take the AP test and then take the May or June SAT subject test. Let's talk about GPA and coursework. Now, you all know that maintaining a high GPA is really important in order to get into a good college. However, it's not just about having a 4.0 average. Let's take into consideration 2 examples. We have on one side Joe Bloggs, and we have Jane Bloggs, his slightly more intelligent older sister. So, Joe Bloggs is getting straight A's. Good job, Joe, straight A's. But colleges will also look at his coursework. He's taking PE, films of Keanu Reeves, the basics of sitting, and Xbox 101. Not very impressive, is it? Now, Jane Bloggs, his older sister, is only she's getting A's and B's here and there, but she's taken on a more challenging course load, including courses such as AP US History and Honors Chemistry and 3rd year Spanish. So make sure that you have a balance of high grades and challenging coursework.
When a student is deciding on coursework from high school, one of the big questions that we get is, should they take a course that might be an average level course and do really well in that course? I want to get an A. Or should I continuously challenge myself with an AP course or an advanced level course or whatever the nomenclature is at a specific school? From your perspective, what would be the best advice?
Well, those are important questions. Certainly, we want to see students doing well in their academic work, but we also look to see if the students challenge themselves. And so, on the one hand, there aren't a lot of AP courses offered at your school, and you try 1 or 2, that's great. On the other hand, if there's a large AP curriculum or a large honors curriculum at your school, and you don't try any of them, we're going to notice that as well.
Okay.
One note of caution, however: do not burn yourself out by taking on, say, for example, 5 AP classes in 1 quarter and get mediocre grades of C's. Remember, the whole key is to have a balance of a challenging course load and maintaining those A's and B's, okay? Now, 3rd is extracurriculars. Remember that applying to college isn't just about numbers. Colleges want to see a student that have interests outside of school. Now, it's essential that you maintain your high GPA and work on your classes. However, get active in your community. Join that basketball team that you've been wanting to join. Join those organizations in which you have interests. It's essential that you show colleges that you have interests outside of just school. Now, also remember that you don't want to just join a bunch of clubs right in your junior year. Colleges can see that. It's better to focus on depth than on breadth. What I mean by this is this: colleges are looking more at longevity and leadership positions rather than just the number of organizations that you join. It's more impressive to a college that you've been in the newspaper team for 4 years and you acquired a position of a senior editor by your senior year, versus joining 20 different clubs last minute in your junior year of high school. It's a total difference. So longevity and leadership is what you should focus on extracurriculars. 4th personal statement. This is the place in your application that you can sit there and brag to the colleges about what a great candidate you are. And you are a great candidate. You should let the colleges know. Now, the rule of thumb for personal statements is that you want to express something in this particular essay, something that the college admissions committee cannot see firsthand when they view your application. You don't want to just reiterate again the coursework that you've done and all the hard work you put into it. They can clearly see that in your application. So this is the area where you want to show them perhaps a passion of yours that isn't so blatantly clear in your application, or talk about perhaps some adversity that you overcame, or a lesson that you learned in some significant point in your life.
There's some guidance that you could give to a college-bound student as a lot of nervousness goes into, a lot of pressure that students put on themselves by creating an essay that they think is, of course, going to focus on what they want an admissions officer to know about them, but also to reveal something about themselves.
Yeah, I guess I would say don't be cute.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because it's so tempting,
right.
but one shouldn't. And don't be formulaic. I mean, write from the heart. Yep. And write about something you know and write about something you care about.
Colleges, remember, are looking for a well-balanced student body. So you want to show them what you can contribute to their campus. And you're very special. You do have something to contribute. So think about it. Remember to prepare ahead of time. Get it proofread by as many people as possible. Your parents, your teachers, your friends. There will be great people that can actually read your essay and provide some helpful input. Recommendations. Now, you've had a chance to brag about yourself in the personal statement, right? Now you want someone else to brag about you. Sounds like fun, huh? Now go to those teachers that you've built a relationship with in the years that you've been in high school. And if you're a junior, right now is a good time to start talking to your teachers, building that essential relationship that you need so that you can go to them later for a request to write a recommendation letter. Go to either your teachers, your counselors, any sort of leaders that you've worked with in your extracurricular activities, and ask them for them to write your recommendation letter. Now keep in mind that you want to give these people plenty of time in advance to write you a good recommendation. Even if somebody wanted to write you a good recommendation letter, but you just gave them a few hours to write it, it won't be so good, right? And also go to someone that you know that you've built a relationship with, someone that really knows the ins and outs of your personality, and someone who likes you so that they'll write you a raving recommendation about how great of a candidate you are. You don't want some stranger just writing a cursory, superficial letter about you just as a general student, but you want to go to that teacher that you've worked with through a long course of time, who knows you, that can really talk and brag about you. Also, actually, remember to write them a thank you letter afterwards. It just shows a little bit of courtesy and maturity to let them know that you appreciate what they've done for you. Finally, we have the application itself. Now, the thing that I want to note about the application at this point is that in this technologically advanced society that we live in, almost all universities will accept online applications. Take advantage of this. You don't want to worry about, the post office and stamps and writing legibly on a paper with your pen. And actually, colleges prefer online applications to paper applications. So go online, research your colleges that you want to apply to, and just sign on, use their online applications.
Any advice that you would give a college-bound student into making that match, both academically as well as quality of life? And
certainly. Well, I always meet with parents and their students on campus days.
Okay.
And I have a son who's 9 years old, and I tell them my fantasy, which is when my son is 16, I'll sit down with him, and I will give him my best advice, and he will listen and do everything I say. This is, again, a fantasy.
Right.
And so I share that talk with the parents and students, and that is what I will tell my son is go to a place where people want to get to know you as a person, as an individual, where people will care about you, where people will take the extra time to encourage you on your intellectual journey. Go to a place where there's a strong alumni connection, because you want to be part of a support network after you graduate from college. Go to a place that has facilities that are healthy, that encourage you to think, that hopefully are inspiring to you. And go to an institution where you will understand what it means to be a global citizen. And to me, that means international programs from which to choose. That's what I will tell my son, and that's the advice that I give to parents.
Okay.
So now we know how the ACT is used in the college admissions process. So let's talk about the ACT itself.